Hello everybody and welcome back to Team Vigavolt's YouTube channel. It has been a little bit since the last upload, but that's kind of customary around here, and believe it or not, I only got my voice back after NAIC. If you watched that video, you know I got really sick, lost my voice. I only got my voice back like maybe a week or two ago, and so yeah, that was not fun, but I'm back and I have another deck list to share with all of you, courtesy of Rafael in the comments section. He suggested Ethan's Typhlosion, and so I said, hey, why not? There's actually a guy at my locals who is running in sort of an Ethan's Ho-Oh list, which is kind of similar to this one, and he does pretty good with it every week. Ethan's Typhlosion, not a bad deck, definitely one to keep an eye out for, as it is not the most played deck competitively, but I don't think it's too bad, and we're going to take a look as to why. So shout out to Rafael, and let's jump into it. Ethan's Typhlosion pretty much revolves around Ethan's Typhlosion and a few other cards as well. We'll start with the main attacker, which is again Ethan's Typhlosion. It is a stage 2. It can only evolve from Ethan's Pokemon because it is kind of a rule, like you can't have a, not that we have another Quilava, but you can't have a normal Quilava and evolve it into an Ethan's Typhlosion. It all has to be Ethan's Pokemon in order to get to this stage 2. And we're mostly here for the Buddy Blast attack. For 1 fire energy, you're doing 40 damage and 60 more damage for each Ethan's Adventure, which is a supporter card that we will get to, in your discard pile. It's a lot like if you were around during the Charizard, like Leon's Charizard sort of thing with, yeah, Leon's Charizard. Was it Leon's Charizard? I digress, but it had a similar attack. It was like however many Leon you have in the discard pile, it did that many damage, like 50 times that many. This is very similar, so but it's 40 plus 60 times, which is a lot more. In order to boost the damage output, because Pokemon these days have way too much HP, you do run a few copies of Victini, 70 HP, so you can use Buddy Buddy Poffin to search these out. And we're just having it for the ability Victory Cheer. It says, attacks used by your Evolution Fire Pokemon do 10 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. Obviously, you're just boosting by 10, but 10 damage can sometimes make or break whether or not you are getting a knockout that turn. So there you have it. We are also running a number of supporting tool cards and item cards. For starters, we have Brave Bengal, which recently came out in the, I believe it was, what is it, Black Bolt White Flare. Brave Bengal is a tool card that lets you do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon EX as long as it is not attached to a Pokemon with a rule box. So Ethan's Typhlosion is doing even more damage with a Brave Bengal. And you are also running Redeemable Ticket, which is an item card I think you're gonna, well, I wanted to mention because it's a little wonky, not wonky, but I don't know, quirky maybe. You count your prize cards, you shuffle them, you put them on the bottom of your deck, and then you take that many cards from the top of your deck and put them face down as your prize cards. So we have another item card that interacts with the prize area, and this is just so that you don't end up prizing a lot of really necessary pieces to the deck, especially Ethan's Typhlosions and Ethan's Adventure, which I have here. It is a supporter card, as I mentioned before, that allows you to search your deck for up to 3 in any combination of Ethan's Pokemon and basic fire energy cards. You show them to your opponent, and then you put them in your hand. So super duper fast. It makes the deck like so fast. It's a really good engine. And again, it's only for Ethan's Pokemon, not for like anybody else's Pokemon, just Ethan's Pokemon. But it's going to let you just dig into your deck and get exactly what you need every time you play it. And this particular list that I will get to here in a second is also running N's Zoroark EX. Has been around since Journey Together, has 280 HP. It's a stage 1. The trade ability is really great for drawing cards. You discard 1 from your hand, and then you get to draw 2. And you do also have Night Joker. You choose one of your benched N's Pokemon's attacks and use it as this attack. But that, and you're not really using that. You're just here mostly for the trade ability, and we'll talk a little bit more about N's Zoroark EX as an inclusion when we get to the list. which is right here. Yay! Now, I shout out to DEFCON TCG, who posted this list over on Twitter that I am sharing with you here in this video. Be sure to check the descriptions, everybody, and make sure you're looking at those links for where these lists are coming from. I've gotten a few gripes in the comments, and yeah, it is what it is. One of the things that a few people have vocalized in the comments is that I'm not walking through every single card, and I still don't think that walking through every single card is really necessary, but some people, there's a lot of alt arts and things like that, and people don't want to have to go hunting for stuff. So I will just very, very, very quickly just run through the list. So you're running 4 Ethan Cyndaquil, 3 Ethan's Typhlosion. These are alternate arts right here where my mouse is. And then this right here is a normal art. I'm sorry, that's just the way that they made the list. I did not make the list, as I mentioned 2 seconds ago or so. So 3 Ethan's Typhlosion, 4 Ethan's Quilava. This card is super important because it is a stage 1 that lets you search out the supporter card, Ethan's Adventure. That's what its ability does. It's called... what is it called? It's called Bonded by the Journey. Bonded by the Journey, that ability allows you to go into your deck and look for an Ethan's Adventure supporter card. So a lot of synergy with the stage 1. Forgot to mention that, my bad. But you're running 4 of those Ethan's Quilava with that ability. You're running the 2/2 line of the Ends Zoroark EX and Ends Zorua because it has to evolve from Ends Zorua, much like Ethan or any of the trainers Pokemon that do evolve. And it is only for the trade ability, right? So you can discard 1 card from your hand and then draw 2 cards. It just makes it even faster. 1 copy of Badoo in case maybe you prize a bunch of Ethan stuff and you don't have a redeemable ticket, seeing as how it is a 1 of in the whole deck. You don't want to run 4 because that's a lot of slots in a 60 card deck that you're taking up, and it looks like with this list they really wanted to make room for the Ends Zoroark EX in order to get out of like dead hands and stuff. Just a little bit as a side note, the Ethan's Adventure, you end up grabbing exactly what you need and then you play it all down and then you have nothing in your hand. And so having additional draw from Ends Zoroark EX is pretty good because you can maintain the momentum and you don't like run out of steam whenever you're chaining attackers with Ethan's Typhlosion. You do run 1 copy of Badoo. I think I started that idea, but then I didn't finish it. But you're running 1 copy of Badoo in case maybe you prize a bunch of stuff and you don't have the redeemable ticket and you need to slow the game down. Go ahead and play Badoo. 1 copy of Shaman to protect your bench. It's this alternate art right here. And then you have another alternate art of Fezandipity EX for the Flip the Script ability. If one of your Pokemon was knocked out last turn, you get to draw 3 cards. That's what its ability does, if you're not familiar. And this is, again, alternate art, so that's why it looks a little different. 1 copy of Victini, which I've already mentioned. 4 copies of Arven. This is another alternate art. Arven is a supporter card, if you're not familiar. It lets you get 1 item and 1 tool card from your deck and put it into your hand. Ethan's Adventure. This is another alternate art. Again, if you don't like alternate arts and it confuses you to see it in a list format, I'm sorry. Don't really know what to do about that. I'm trying my best here. But Ethan's Adventure, we've already talked about that. 2 Boss's Orders, more alternate arts, 1 copy of Professor Churro's Scenario. It lets you pick up 1 of your Pokemon and put it into your hand, but you have to discard all the cards attached to it. 1 copy of Iono. You shuffle your hand, put it at the bottom of your deck, and then you draw cards equal to the amount of prize cards that you have remaining. 4 copies of Ultra Ball. These are gold rare cards, right? So 4 copies of Ultra Ball, discard 2, look for a Pokemon. 4 copies of Buddy Buddy Poffin, look for 2 Pokemon with 70 HP or less and put them straight onto your bench. 2 copies of Night Stretcher, you can get a basic energy or a Pokemon and put it into your hand from your discard pile with Night Stretcher. Rare Candy, 1 copy of that in order to skip stage 1 and go to stage 2. Most of the time, you are going to want the Ethan's Quilava in play in order to fish out the Ethan's Adventures, which is why it's only a 1 of inclusion. 1 copy of Earthen Vessel, discard 1 from your hand, and then search your deck for 2 basic energy cards and put them in your hand. That's what that does. 1 Super Rod, another item card here. You get to shuffle back in up to in any combination of Pokemon and basic energy into your deck. That is just some nice recovery so that you can continue to stream attackers, i.e. Ethan's Typhlosions. Redeemable ticket we've already talked about. Secret box, if you're not familiar, it is an A-spec card. Discard 3 cards from your hand and you get to search for a supporter, a stadium, an item, a tool card, and I think I might be missing one. A supporter, a stadium, an item, and a tool. I think that's it. It's those 4. But you have to discard 3 from your hand. 1 copy of Counter Catcher. If you are behind on prizes, you get to gust up one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. 1 copy of Switch. It lets you switch. 1 copy of Nest Ball. Look for a basic, slap it on the bench. 2 copies of TM Evolution for 1 energy. This tool card will allow the active Pokemon that it is attached to search your deck for up to 2 evolution cards and evolve those 2 benched Pokemon up 1 stage, if I explained that correctly. And it does let you kind of break the rules with evolution. It will let you evolve Pokemon that you just put into play that turn as well. 2 copies of Air Balloon, which is a reprint, a reissue, a redistribution, if you will, in Black Bolt White Flare. It is a tool card, and it allows your active Pokemon's retreat cost to be reduced by 2. This is here primarily to prevent your Phesandipides and your Enzazorok EXs from being stranded in the active spot, as well as maybe your Shaymins. 2 copies of Brave Bengal, which we have talked about, and then 5 copies of basic fire energy. So there you have it. I went through the whole list, all the alternate arts, because this image does contain a lot of gold rares and a lot of alternate arts. I'm not going to make that a habit. I'm sorry for people that are maybe new to the card game and stuff. I do leave everything in the description. You can follow that link, get a better look at the image for yourself. This is all in English. If you're an English speaker, English reader, it's all there. So I do leave resources for everybody to be able to educate themselves on these lists. I know that there's a lot of alternate arts and gold rares and stuff like that in the Pokemon TCG, especially right now. But I really don't think that in the future I'm going to be going through every single card in every single list. I really think it's just broadly maybe more beneficial to highlight the key cards in a deck list and then briefly discuss the deck list. That's kind of just my personal format. You can obviously leave me feedback in the comments as well. But there you have it, everybody. That is Ethan's Typhlosion. Comment which deck you would like me to cover next. There are quite a few decks in the format right now. It's pretty crazy. You can never really fully prepare for an event. Everybody's playing crazy stuff, and then everybody's playing meta stuff, and the crazy stuff is actually competitively viable, mostly, largely. And so you never really know what to expect, and there's plenty to talk about. So I'll take suggestions. Let me know in the comments below. Thank you again, everybody, for making it to the end of the video. If you made it to the end of the video, you are an awesome person. It's good to be able to make a quick little video and get this uploaded, and hopefully it's educational and helpful to everybody out there. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.